What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Lone Duck's Gun Dog Chronicles. We're excited to have our good friend Lyle Steinman back in the saddle. It's been a little bit since you've been on, buddy. We got to get it back in the groove.
It's been a while. I still get people that the first podcast we ever did says, "Hey, I listened to that podcast," and heaven's sakes, I don't know how many 100 years ago that thing was, but I I I should do more podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't. You guys, and I did one with Jimmy, and we did one with the SRS. Steven and I did, I think, in August sometime, and that's kind of pretty well all I really do. I mean, I get a lot of invitations, but um, you know, I'm not private in a lot of ways. I'm not untouchable, but it's just something. I know the boys listen to the podcast all the time, and I
That's
guess
awesome.
I'm old,
Yeah.
I forget they're out there, and Steph listens to them on building houses
Yep.
and stuff like that. So I mean, it's always good to do one with you guys. I mean,
Wow, we appreciate it.
yeah, it's always, and I hate to say it, but, I was years ago, one of the 2 best dog trainers that's ever trained a dog gave me free advice, and he said, "Don't read about yourself and don't watch yourself on TV or anything like that." So, it blows people's minds that I don't. I've probably watched 15 minutes of myself would kill it. And I don't know how many gazillion hours that, I've been on, but it's just something that I took to heart. I remember where he gave me the advice. I was in the shop and he said it hurt him when he started listening to the internet and stuff like that. So it's something you know, you become thick skinned and that's what I teach my guys. Uh,
Yeah.
go do your job.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're really glad to have you back, and this is going to be an exciting episode. The first portion of it, we're going to kind of talk about, catching up with you and the success you and Castle Creek, the whole crew had at the SRS. But then the second portion that's really important is the National Retriever Gun Dog Championship that you and a few other folks are spearheading. And we're going to get into that. So, but before that, I do want to hear about the SRS. What did it feel like this year? How did it go? You guys had a hell of a run.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I had 7 wins with 6 different dogs. Clark had a phenomenal year. I think he had 33 open points, and Clark didn't run that much. I mean, we were trying to get dogs qualified for the Grand and stuff like that, and I ran quite a few, and, I mean, it's been a wonderful year, to say the least, and I told the boys more than once, uh, Lewis just finished up with derbies and quals last weekend, and we'll post our results, but, you step back and you go and you look at the numbers and they're mind-boggling. I mean, 200 plus master passes again, 28 master national passes. I don't know, 140 or 50 finish passes and 20 grand passes, and I don't know how many grand champions we made, but a bunch. Um,
Mhm.
I think I had 115, 120 open points, uh,
Right.
this year. I mean, it was just, a special year. Lewis started to run field trials and Lewis has been one of the best kept secrets in the country, not much longer.
Cool.
And there's goals that I have for all of us, but we've one goal that I have for Lewis and I is the Retriever News come a couple weeks ago and the National Derby champion was on there and I handed it to Lewis. I said, "See that? 2 years from now,
Yeah.
I want on the cover." Okay. And he took a dog to the 9th series and really was close to making the finals. He wasn't going to win, but he was definitely in the top 5 or 6 at that point. And so he trained his butt off. Uh, I bought a bunch of puppies for the Derby National. I think I'm at 5 right now. So and several more to come. So, I mean, we have goals that we want to reach, and that's one thing Lewis and I have really stressed. I think Lewis is 4 or 5 qualified all age dogs, 2 or 3 wins, a couple Derby wins this fall. So, that's exciting. We're going to that direction, and I'm sure we're going to branch out a little bit farther in the field trials. Um, yeah, I mean, it was the dogs were, I think we qualified 17 or 18 uh, for the crown, and they were hitting on all cylinders. I mean, we finished with 4 out of 6 in the finals, but it really doesn't tell the tape. Wagers never picked up a poison bird in his entire career, and he decided in the 3rd series he was going to come back to it. Uh, so that
Yeah.
was another dog that would have made the finals also. So I mean, we had a lot of dogs in the top 12, and it just sometimes when Clark and I try to avoid each other is the best way to put it, because we beat up on each other. The
Mhm.
trucks are so strong, and I mean that's something with that. And like I say, goals for next year. I've started writing goals down, and that's something. If you're listening and watching, a goal is not a goal unless you write it down. Okay. You put it in print, you put it somewhere you can see it, you can read it, you focus on it. And it's kind of like right now, we're real close to Christmas, and we're itching to go to Texas,
Mhm.
to get ready for next year, and we're excited about that. But yeah, I mean I told the boys, I said, I'm proud of you, of course, but I said what we did in 1 year, that would be a career someplace else. So,
Right.
we're not going to stay complacent. We've added, Preston's come to throw birds and work with Clark, and Coley's going to work with the young dogs with Lewis, and then Case and Page is going to join me in Texas, and that's exciting. So, I mean, we continue to grow, but we continue to grow uh, the right way, I guess you'd say. Okay,
Very cool.
more quality more than quantity. We don't want 100 dogs here. He's not going to do that. Can't, won't do it, can't do it, don't need to do it. So
Yeah.
that's our goals.
Good for you. Who were some of the hammers that you had that were at the crown on your truck?
Well, you've got Jordan, who turned 11. And of course, I've had her since she's a little over 2. So she has always been with me. Uh, she's always been my rock. Uh, Next to Steph, she's always been there when I would lose a dog, you know,
Mm.
like we lost Hatch and we lost Indy, and she was always there. So extremely emotional with that. Her being 11, uh, she's in the front room right now beside the fireplace, and uh, it's amazing that this is a crazy stat. And I never ran. I always protected Jordan's career like I did Rivers and all of them, but I ran Jordan when I needed to, and I didn't if I had to. And this spring, one of the boys walked up and said, Jordan's got 100 SRS open points. I said, what? The younger guys that follow this, they know stats. I got no troubles figuring out what I'm gonna have for breakfast in the morning. And he goes, yeah, she's at 100 and something. She's the first SRS open dog of all time to get that. I said, you got to be kidding. So I went and looked. Yeah, he was right. And I mean, there's streaks. You go look at her track record. There's streaks that you go, wow, eight,
Yeah.
9 placements in a row. And if she would have a bad first series, I would never let her run the second.
Mm.
Okay. I just say we'll scratch. We'll just play another day. So she ended up being 5th. AJ was kind of a surprise. I mean, AJ basically weaned puppies on Saturday, and I was beginning to wonder if I could get them weaned to take her to leave on
Wow.
Tuesday to go to Louisiana. I said,
That's badass.
I, yeah, I started training her when the puppies were 3 weeks old, and I took her out and trained her and took her back to the kennel where the puppies were at. And she goes, I'm out of this gig. I had to tie her in there. I had to tie her in there so she'd nurse these puppies. I go, oh Lord, what the hell have I done? So I was feeding these puppies 3 times a day and training and nursing, and I'm going, holy smokies, and so, she still had, she looked real good for that, but she just kept getting stronger and stronger. And Wager was 7th last year and made the top 12, and I had him where I wanted him, and like I say, come back on a poison bird, and he's a killer.
Mm.
Uh, we had Ducky was in the top 12, and I think I had 5, maybe 4 or 5, something like that, and Clark had Toombs, who Jordan got 3rd last year because of a poor handler mistake from me. But Toombs got 2nd, Jordan got 3rd, and he was starting to peak. And then Daisy, who Clark will talk to you next week about it, is our miracle baby. Uh, that's the way you put it, because we about lost her, and Schaefer's spent the time and the resources of, I don't ever want to know what the resources, the astronomical bill it was, but she's back to herself. And I mean, it was close. Clark will tell you that close. Them 2 dogs were close at the end. And but we got a video of Daisy the other day, and she was hunting geese, and it was snow. I don't know how much snow was on the ground, but a bunch. But they were letting geese land, and she's going look like a hoot owl. So that was good to see. Uh,
Cool.
her back at doing what she loves to do. So, yeah, I mean, it was an all in all an unbelievable year. And I mean, the big thing is I've ran 19 crowns. Um, yeah, and Thor was in there. I forgot about Thor was in there, and we had a lot of stuff reminding me what dogs, but
What's up, staff?
yeah, we just had a remarkable year. And I mean,
Yeah.
it that's all you can say. I mean,
Let me
there's
ask you
just
this real quick. So this the fall is a gamut. You just got to gut through it. You've got Master Nationals, you got the Grand, and you got the SRS all within 8 weeks of each other, if not tighter.
tighter, probably.
Yeah, probably tighter. Each one of them have specific disciplines that aid each other, but
Hmm.
also not hurt, but I don't know how to describe what I'm saying here, but some of it is going to help playing all the games. Some of it is not. And training for the SRS is so specific with plastic, with a lot of poison, like extremely difficult poison birds. How are you balancing it? And what does your prep look like to make them peak properly for each of those events?
Well, I mean, Clark's one of the 2 best that runs the Grand.
Mhm.
I mean, you can say what you want. His stats never lie. This kennel stats never lie. But I guess that's something that goes back to when Steph and I would show cattle together when I was 8, 9 years old. It was. eh, I can't teach it. I can't explain it. It's just a God given ability that even at 8 or 9 years of age and competing in the show ring all over the country, knowing how to peak that show steer for the American Royal, the State Fair, the National Western Stock Show, it was always I don't know if it's a gift, but it was something that instilled in me. Uh,
Mhm.
and doing certain things, um, pretty well everything I've ever done my entire career has been basically an accident. And I think the misconception too is it's like Steph, like Owen's 20 years old, and everybody thinks I've been doing it since I was in my 20s. Well, I didn't turn pro till I was 38.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
should have turned pro a long time ago. But the teaching of showing show steers and competing against guys twice my age or more, and then the development of going into hunting, night hunting coonhounds, which still gives me chills. Okay, tracking them hounds across the dark in the middle of nowhere, and competing at championships. And I think that elevated my career. And then got into horseback bird dogs, and I hate horses. I hate them. Okay, all we want to do is a 1,200-pound animal that wants to kill you. Okay, so I decided I like dogs more than I like horses. So it started into, as an amateur, like most of us, um, training, running, educating, and I had tremendous mentors. You know, and that was what I was explaining to Kaysen the other day. I said, when you come to work here, you have a pedigree, no different than a dog. Okay. And I was taught one thing that I was taught was it's more important who trained the dog than the dog itself. So his mentorship starts in mid-January, and that's something that, my mentors were all disciples of Rex Carr.
Hmm.
So my thoughts and how I was taught is their foundation. And
Hmm.
I think that's the big thing is sometimes, you know, we don't give credit where credit's due. Okay.
Yeah. But are there things that you're doing in training to prep these dogs to go from Master Nationals and Grand to the SRS to get them to peak at the SRS?
Well, I think I run an enormous amount of singles and
Mhm.
they're complex. Okay. And I'm not running 3 marks and 2 blinds. And guys out there listening to that, don't do that. You know, I'll sometimes show a video of what I'm doing. That's one setup. I'm not letting you see the second setup or vice versa. I'll take both of them and I'll put on Facebook or wherever what I did and the other one I'll erase. Okay. So, I'm running 4, 5, 6, 8 marks in a setup,
Mhm.
and then I'll come back and run blinds later. Okay. So you can sit there and study. I mean, a lot of our water tests that I run are 20, 30-minute tests.
Right.
That's 3 dogs an hour.
Right.
Whew, you know, and I think that's just peaking them dogs and figuring them out and going, okay, what's best for this dog? And the advantage that I feel that we have is I'm a big stickler for line manners because that's what I was taught.
Yep. Me
Don't
too.
move or I'm going to get you.
Yep.
Okay. I'm more forgiving in the field where Clark is less forgiving on the line and not forgiving in the field, which is a great mix. And I'm always going to do what's best for the dog. Okay. I don't care who wins as long as you're wearing my kennel name.
Right.
And my guys know that. As long as it says Castile Creek Kennels, I don't care who wears it. And I think that's a big thing. It's like we get to the Master National and Jimmy won an SRS and scored a perfect score at 0 in Montana, which I come off the line and had my sunglasses on and I was crying. And they go, "What's wrong?" I've seen stuff, but I ain't never seen anything like that. Perfect 0. And that's what
Yeah.
it was. It was incredible, the feeling, and I guess that's why I get up and go train. I wanna feel that again, but, we get to the Master National, and I had 2 dogs, and I got up Thursday before we started running on Friday, and I always say, "I'm gonna run the dog, my name's first in the book, Clark's second. If Clark's gonna run that dog, I put him first and me second." Okay? So I get up Thursday morning and I go, "Clark, I've made a decision. You're gonna run Jimmy and you're gonna run Duke because I have 0 chance of passing. We're not working together. We can't even figure out what day it is.
Mm.
Okay. She just soon bite me and I just soon, you know, shoot her. Her and I are just butt and blood. Okay. And
Yeah.
so Clark, he said, okay. And Duke had an incident in the first series, a bad break, but he ended up passing Jimmy. Okay.
Cool.
So I guess that's what we look at. And we switch dogs, I would say a fair amount.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like what one dog does to me and vice versa. And we found out a lot of times, like if I train the dog and I give the dog to Clark, or we give the dog to Lewis, or vice versa. And it's like we got a young dog that's a phenom named Radar. Well, she don't like me at all. And I never did anything to her. Okay.
Mhm.
And she kind of runs for Lewis. Lewis trained her. And so starting right now, Clark's the only one that touches her.
Cool.
Okay, she's a little odd, she's a little different. And sometimes, you get into that situation where, you know, uh, the advantage, there's 3 of us. I mean, I've
Exactly.
given dogs to Lewis that to go run the baby marks that are SRS champions and stuff like that just to try something. Gotta try something different,
Mhm.
you know? And so I guess that's probably the big thing with here is we've got that advantage. And there's been dogs here that before Clark and Lewis and all of them come, that I told the owners, I said, "I'm not your pilot. Sorry. You try this trainer. See if that works."
Yep.
Same way I get calls, with situation problems and a lot of times some of these new clients don't like the answer is you got to try a new pilot, new handler.
Yeah. Different jockey.
Yeah, I mean, you just train long, short, you work on your concepts. Poison birds, we do them all the time. I mean,
Mhm. Do you have a
jumping
favorite
over.
drill? Like,
Oh yeah,
as you're teaching poison
oh
birds
yeah.
and or revisiting it before the crown is
Where I do it's Rex Carr's poison bird drill that I was taught. Terry Claycamp. I've still got the diagrams. Terry passed away this year. I still got a lot of Terry's notes on my desk that I look at. But that drill was taught to me from Terry that learned it from, uh, you know,
would you mind
from Bill
taking a second
Schrader.
and describing that drill?
Well, it's hard to explain. You start out the drill. You start out. You put a holding blind, okay, and it doesn't have to be long, all right. And then sometimes you want to put somebody in a chair in front of it. If not, the first blind you run is at the holding blind. Okay, 4 or 5 feet. Set it right there. Run it at the holding blind. And then no matter how many times you do this drill, you can do this drill 3, 4, 5 times a week. Very rare you're going to line the blind to the blind to the holding blind. Okay.
Mhm.
And so then what you do is you pick that up, come back, and you throw. You can change them. Throw one right to left. No off that. Run under the arc. Okay. Pick that up. You can pick the mark if you want to. If not, throw another one short. Run outside. Okay. And you can use ATBs. You can use birds if the wind's blowing left or right. You can do things like that to entice picking the poison bird up. This drill also fixes running flaring holding blinds.
Right.
Okay. You think about a blind. How many concepts are there to a blind? Under the arc, outside the arc. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're teaching that dog you can run, at the holding blind and not get in trouble. Here's the other thing. 0 pressure. None, 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 0. If you think you're going to use the collar, don't put it on because we're not going to use it. Okay.
Mhm.
You apply pressure, even in a drill like this, you will have problems. A dog flaring a poison bird is worse than one picking one up. You've got to be comfortable. Here's the other key. If a dog picks it up, you don't raise your voice. You walk out there. I'm ambidextrous. Okay. Both hands, both feet. I'll kick it out of the dog's mouth.
Okay.
If you take it, you're rewarding that dog. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
You got to think like dog, don't think like human. If you reach down and take it from him, you're telling him it's okay to pick it up. No, it's not.
Right.
And after one time, if he picks it up, you walk out there, sit. You can swipe it out of his mouth every time.
Yeah.
Leave
I
it.
do the same thing. I bop. I use my hand, but I'll bop it out of their mouth.
You're not.
Oh.
Yeah, you can do that. If you're not comfortable with that, you're not going to kick the dog. You're no in the way. You're not kicking him. And my guys know we're not. We don't do that. Okay. But if you kick that out of his mouth, leave it alone. No, redo it. You can do this drill. We'd start it with younger dogs. Okay. It's all about control.
Mhm.
Also, you got a dog that's a phenomenal marking animal. I got a couple of them. They don't like to be controlled. This makes you
Right.
controlled. Yeah.
Right.
My wife told me I was supposed to mention the Jet was SRS Dog of the Year. Okay. I'm getting
Oh,
notes.
cool.
And one more thing that I forget about, but they were talking about, I ran 19 Crown Championships. I've been in the finals 17 times.
Damn.
So you and I didn't know that. I had to go look. Somebody was bringing up how many times you made the final, and I went and looked and I said, well, but it goes back to this, okay? You're only as good as the last time you left that driveway.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. It don't
Yeah.
matter. And the great ones will tell you that. I won last weekend. That was last weekend.
Yep.
It's kind of like football. Sunday's over. Monday's a new day.
It's a beauty and a curse. It really is, because I got a second in an open at the last trial of my season, and it was like the most badass ride home.
Mm-hmm.
and the next day I kind of halfway forgot about it.
Mhm.
Where it's like it was awesome. Now we got to keep going and doing so that we can hopefully repeat that performance. Um, it, it's a blessing and a curse to have that mentality, like not being satisfied.
We all know we talked about how bad paperwork is. I'm not very good at it. I gotta
Yeah,
do
so
it every morning at 4:30 or 5. And I think the strength is Clark and Lewis know, "Go train. Go do it. Okay, don't worry about that, I'll take care of the rest." Okay? And that's a big relief to them, and they'll tell you that. I mean, the
right.
paperwork's a killer, billing people, and I'm not very good at that either. You never know what the bill's gonna be, high, low, you know what I'm talking about, Bob.
Yeah,
I get clients all the time say, "Hey, you forgot to charge me for this." "Oh, okay." And that's
yeah.
kind of our
Thanks for your
thought
honesty.
process. Yeah, I said, "Here's the deal. I screw you, help me out. I'm getting screwed, help me out." Okay?
Yeah,
Dog trainer, not CPA,
yeah.
you know? So, but that's, you understand the business side of that. Um, and so that's some things that, you know, it's daily, I think. It's,
It's a never ending process. But no, I think you're always the guy. Every single time you've come on the podcast, you bring up goals, and you always talk about writing them down. And I love it because for whatever reason, we also do them around this time of year.
Mhm.
And it's like running into that New Year's resolution style where you're just thinking ahead and what do I want to get out of next year? What goals did I have? And then sometimes I forget. I don't look at it as often as you do, but I forget to look at and be like, damn, I did it. I hit them.
Mhm.
And I need to learn to revel in some of those successes instead of just head down, grind, go, 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 go.
Yeah, and that's I'm getting a lot everybody's asking, "Well, when are you gonna post them? When Lewis gets done running?" And I asked the boys again today, I said, "I need your stats. Give me a ballpark." And you still wanna be humble,
Right.
okay? But you gotta step back, and one of my clients who's like a father figure to me, uh, was preaching to me today again. Uh, "What you doing?" "Paperwork, probably train tomorrow," and um, he's always on me. He's the one that said, "Don't give up my season tickets to the Chiefs, even though you can't go a lot of times, sell them or whatever, and you need a hobby." And he was preaching to me today about the dogs need to heal up. You need to heal up. And, that's just like I was sitting in the hot tub a little bit ago. And that's something I'll tell everybody. If you don't have a hot tub and you train dogs, you might want to think about one. Okay. I go every 5:30 at night. I go out there and it's pitch dark and I sit there and you look at the stars and the phone doesn't ring and you're not bothered and it helps your body and your mind, I guess I'd say.
That's
That's,
awesome. I
yeah.
will tell you this. I don't know if he would appreciate me telling you this, but you and Blaine Tarnecki were at a hunt test or a SRS. I don't remember what we were doing. We were all together, and you said that same thing, and he went and got one, and he calls his jacuzzi the Steinman.
That's
I'm
funny.
going and soaking in the Steinman tonight, boys.
Oh, yeah. Well, that thing, I come home and I had one for 20 some years and I ordered one. It was the Master National. I said, "Hey, can you bring that and deliver it?" And they said, "Yeah, because old Betsy's about to die."
Yeah.
And so we had a boo-boo right after the Master National, one of the something, I don't know what it is. I can't fix nothing, but it was something coming into the jets and this and that. And it was like 2 weeks. And I go, "Oh," you know, well, and they fixed it. And I go, "Oh man, it does help." So
That's
yeah,
awesome. Well,
it's worth every
yeah,
penny,
Blaine
as they
calls
say.
his the Steinman. I love it.
That's funny. That's
Yeah,
funny.
dude.
And that's,
So good.
you know, it
It's great
that's some
advice, really.
I mean, you gotta, it's kinda like we have friends that are my age and their health isn't very good, and, you know, Steph and I have been blessed with good health and a great bunch of guys to work with, and I don't you work with me, you don't work for me. Now, once in a while, I gotta throw the checkbook card out once in a while. You remember I
Yeah.
can write the check if I want to, but I don't want to. And that's just it. I mean, it goes all the way from us, but they're not kids, but we call them kennel kids. They're kids to us. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think, Bob and Kevin, of all the things that I've accomplished in my career, I know that I am the most proud of the fine young men and women who has worked for this facility.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have doctors, I've got lawyers, I don't know how many school teachers, I don't know, the list of police officers, I mean, that work in St. Joe, and deputies, and, and I mean, the list is so long that I know them all, but I should have all put on there what you did, what you do now. And it's like, I don't have a lawyer. So one of my young kids, oh Lord, he's ornery. Oh, he's an ornery cuss. Good looking kid. Glad I don't have any daughters his age. Uh, he's going to be a lawyer. Cause I always told him, I said, why don't you quit school and come and throw birds? Yeah, right. My mama kill me, so, that's some things. And he was here tonight, and, uh, I'm not going to tell you who it is, cause he's going to listen to this and he'll know who he is. But, that's some of the things that I'm most proud of. And
Very
probably
good.
the one that I'm most proud of is I had a brother and sister live across the street. And James is like 6'4", 5", and Megan's like 6 something. And James worked for his dad, who owns a heating and cooling. And I'll get short real quick. And he goes, I worked with Dad one time, I can't do it. So I hired James, and he'd been here a year, and Megan's real quiet. And Megan comes up and goes, can I have a job? You want a job? Can I have a job? I said, yes. And so she comes to work, and about 3 trips later, I walk out to the barn because I sit in the hot tub and watch. And I said, James, you want the good news or the bad news? Is there going to be a difference? I said, no. You're not in charge no more. What? I said, Megan is. She's only been here 3 days. Already seen all I need to see. She's in charge. Do what your sister tells you. So a couple
That's
years
cool.
ago, and I mean, I kept my foot up his butt so far, and his dad said he didn't know what was going to happen. But I got a text message about this long. And this is about my attention span on text message. Okay. And he goes, I wanted you to be the first to know. I got into nursing school today,
Cool.
and it's all because of you. You wouldn't let up. You kept after me, and you drove me.
Cool.
I called him. I says, I can't answer that in a text. And that's the thing with these kids that I'm so proud of. It's we love them all. And if you can take care of dogs, that. Work out here in the cold and the hot and throw birds, your work ethic is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah.
I'm proud of.
Very cool. Well, let's get into the National Retriever Gun Dog Championship. This is something that you and a group of other folks are championing. And I want you to share what it is, how people are going to qualify, when it is, the format, the rules, the tests that you're going to set up. Kind of just let it rip.
For several years now, I've been taking notes. Okay. This was my 25th Master National.
Mhm.
And you can take 25 times 10 is not real hard to figure out. That's 3/4 of a year of my life. I've seen changes that I've not agreed with. I've seen tests I don't think are very good. There's just some things that I've given my career for this, and again, I'm not pleased in the direction that they were going.
Right.
And I'm not the only one that feels that way. So I approached AKC about another national, and they said, give us kind of a format. And I gave a broad outline, and they said, we need an element. We're not going to allow another national that resembles this. I said, okay. And so I worked very closely with one of the AKC personnel and told her what I was wanting to do. And she goes, okay. What really triggered it was the attempt to limit the number of 840 dogs.
Right.
at the Master National and rank my dogs. Okay. I'm not ranking nobody. Uh, that's not what this is for. And it failed. The delegates voted it out. So I got a text a little while ago that we are going to Oregon. Uh, uh, and I got a phone call prior to that on a Friday night and was asked, do I know any gossip? I said, evidently you do. And so I was given this news, and for several hours I was in shock. And Steph goes, what's your thought? I really don't know what my thought is. Okay.
The news
Um,
on what, Lyle?
the 840 was probably had a good chance of happening
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
in Oregon. And you can't go 3 days from here, which is in the middle of the country, to Oregon.
Yeah.
It's not physical. It's not profitable. It ain't gonna work. Okay.
Right.
So I started talking, and I pulled my notes, which I'd had, and I said, here's my element. I'm going to make a phone call, and the Grand puts on 2 major events a year with a lot of dogs in 5 days.
Right.
And I said, I need to ask you a question. This is to my AKC person. I said, if the first question is answered, then we can continue on to number 2. But if it's no, then we're done.
Right.
And in business, you model yourself after successful businesses. And she said, you do. I said, well, I've called 2 people that help with the Grand Committee, and I can put on a 200 dog event, but I have no idea how to do 1,000.
Right.
Not a clue. Can't do it. Don't even know where I would start. And I've asked these guys, I've explained to them that the trickle down effect, if this happens, you will be affected by it. Your numbers will go through the roof at the Grand. The field
Oh,
trial
yeah.
numbers will go through the roof because these guys have to do something.
Right. We got to run
Train dogs.
dogs.
And I have to do something to protect this kennel, but to protect my sport. And to protect you, Bob, like I said, protect you to continue on to run master tests or the other youngsters, trainer wise, the Case and Page, the Owen Hall, these guys, the Dakota Best, guys like this, that this is their livelihood and this is what they want to do. But if there isn't nothing to do, they can't do this. So,
Right.
at my age, I don't need this headache.
Yeah. Literally,
Okay.
that's my thought. When you told me you're doing this, I'm like, bud, you don't need this headache.
No,
None
no,
of us do. We work our
no,
butt
we don't.
off way too
No,
much. This is not an added stress that you need, but it
no.
is cool that you're doing it.
Well, what we're gonna do is, uh, it will be in Kibble, Kentucky.
Mhm.
Okay. Uh, Tim, who is the wildlife manager, I think that's his title, but anyway, he is the one that takes care of Kentucky wildlife management. And they've had the Grand there multitudes of times, multitudes. There's 5,300 acres there. It's there. I do have a date already planned for next year. It will be early September this year. And then for the next years to come, it will follow up in the same date every year.
Right.
Okay.
Which
And
let me explain to everybody real quick. That is advantageous to us because we know we can plan for it.
Mhm.
It's not where, and I understand why Master National did it because of the quadrants of the country. You can't run too early in the South. It's too hot. You can't. So it changes. You really don't know when to plan. Is it going to be in October? Is it going to be in September? That's a big window for clients and us logistically. And then for guys like you and Clark and Steven and those guys who are doing national, grand, and SRS.
Yeah.
That's a freaking gauntlet.
Well, and what it does is I want it to be late September, early October. So that way, working with the grand committee, because they're AKC boys too.
Right.
I'm just that's the prefix I'm giving them. They run AKC events, but again, these guys are so vital to our success, but for this event. And that way they know, hey, September, I'm just using examples, September 27th, we know we're going to be in Kibble, Kentucky
Right.
for approximately so many days.
Right.
And the big question is how many dogs? I don't know. How many days? I don't know. Okay.
Right.
That is things unknown. But what you will do
But your
is
goal would be not 10 days like the Master
no,
National.
sir. No,
Right.
I don't. I want to get you in. I want to get you out, and I want you to go home.
Right.
Okay. And that's not being unreasonable. That's what the Grand does. And I'm not trying to compare this championship to the Grand, but I mean, they've been successful.
Right.
Okay. They are organized and I need them help. I need their help so bad that they know it. Okay.
Right.
So what you'll do is, I've got a slate of officers. I have a few board of directors that will be on this venture with me.
Mhm.
We will all get along or you won't be on the board no more. Okay.
Yeah.
There will be no delegates whatsoever. No, the board of directors will decide everything.
Mhm.
Okay. My thought talking to a few of them is say you got a master title, say 2 additional passes from
Right.
August 1st through July 31st. I'm not going to cause you any hardship or your clients or the owners of any of these dogs any more money.
Right.
Okay. If
It
you want to
also
run the
takes a
match,
little bit it also takes a little bit of burden off of the clubs and the
correct.
entry system of how it's filling in 30 not even in 3 seconds. I almost said 30 seconds, but that's a joke. In 3
Yeah.
seconds, it's full.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're a master hunter and you get 2 more passes, give or take this year, 27, it may be 3, for instance. I don't know. That is something that we will discuss and do what's best for this event. The tests will be master tests. Okay. The quality of judging, the directors will pick the judges. Okay. We've already started compiling a list of judges that we would like to work with. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, Together. Okay. There's certain things that I'm not going to get into now, but setting up tests, setting up situations, we're gonna these we're gonna have inputs. Okay.
Let me
We're not
ask you
gonna
this
see
now. So,
what's that?
real quick. So, in essence, I'm just gonna reiterate real quick. Dog already has to be a master hunter, and
Hmm.
then 2, potentially 3 passes in a calendar year, which over the phone earlier today, you mentioned, in August 1st to July 31st, similar to
Yeah.
the national. Um, my question is, the fall is going to be like a qualifying event. If you pass, you're
Yes,
going
sir.
to be invited to the spring championship.
Yes, sir. What you're
In
gonna do is you'll attend that thing, uh, pass, fail. Again, the quality of your test because of the quality of the judges, and the quality of the grounds. I mean, their grounds are phenomenal that a lot of people have not seen. I mean, they're gonna hold 2 or 3 national opens there, okay?
Right.
They're beautiful. They're the
Can I ask
structure
where it's at?
yeah, wildlife, Paducah, Kibbled, Kentucky,
Okay.
and it's not because they're in the middle of the country, but it does help, okay?
Yes, it does.
I don't care for next year's date, but I have no choice. Okay. There's so many events which shocked me from August 1st through December 1st held on those grounds. There's something there every weekend. Field trial,
Yeah.
hunt test, beagles, coonhounds. It's an unbelievable. I was shocked when I started reading who was coming, who was going. Um, you go to that event. We don't know if we'll run 4 series, 5 series, 6 series. We don't know. Okay. This year, the next year, it may be a little different situation because I want to get you in, I want to get you out, and I want to get you to St. Louis. for the grand. Okay.
Right.
We're not going to tarry around. We're going to get it. Okay. If you pass that, you will get an invitation. Okay. To play for the National Retriever Gun Dog Championship.
Can I ask another question real quick
Sure.
before we jump into the championship? So let's just do some for instances. Let's say 300 dogs sign up for the qualifying
Mhm.
uh, in the fall.
Mhm.
When you look at grand statistics and master national statistics of a pass rate, of those 300, the goal for the championship, is it going to be like a 130, like a 33.333, like have 100 dogs at that championship? Um, it's probably a difficult answer, but my thought is you'd have to almost kind of like the grand has the uh, stereotype of just whacking dogs out of there. Is it going to kind of sort of be like that in order to have the championship be the most elite of the elite?
You're going to judge to the standard,
Right.
and your tests are going to be better. Okay. I'm not going to ever ask a judge to whack them. Okay.
Right.
But here is another thought process. When you put quality judges in the chair who understand dog work, you're going to get better tests. Okay. And it's like anything, you may play the first series, but if you're bleeding, you're probably not going to play the second or the third or go on. Okay.
Right.
It's the deal where you're sitting in that chair, and this is human nature. You're sitting back in there and you're in the fourth or fifth series, and you're sitting there going, if I pass him, this dog could win because you got another 6 months.
Right.
So if he's marginal, you know, but if the dog passes, it's, pass the dog. Here's the deal. Here's an invitation.
Right.
You understand, come May or June, the gloves are off. Okay.
So now let's bring the championship with the gloves off mentality. Is it going to still be a master test, or is
Yep.
it
You're
going to?
going to go up to 200 yards. Bird placement.
Mhm.
Go look at the national amateur. Look at those setups. Okay. They don't need 300 or 400 yards.
Right.
Look at the grand. Do they
Right.
need more than 200? Okay.
Right.
But yeah, the gloves are off. I mean, you're going to play and you're going to go 4 or 5 series, 6 series, whatever it is. There's 3 guys going to sit in that chair, you know, and,
And will it
you
be
know,
like a normal field trial where, like, the first series we go from 100 dogs down to 50, second series 50 to
no,
30, 30 to
that,
10?
that's it. That's something that we can't answer right now. Okay. But it's the goal of those 3 judges. It's going to be very similar to the setup of first series. Okay. Second series, we need to get a little more difficult. Okay.
Right.
Third series, it's like any other event, it's going to get more difficult.
I just think it's got to have them get cut.
Well, if you double handle, you're out. That's a given. Okay. If your blind isn't up to par that day, you know, you're there. These 3 judges are there
Mhm.
to find the best one.
Right.
And we're still working on the details
Sure.
of if we're going to crown a champion, place 4 dogs, but you get to the 5th or 6th series and there's 15, 18 dogs. Everybody's going to get a ribbon. You're a finalist.
Yeah.
Okay. You've shown your ability to be here.
Right.
And in the same sense, as someone, we qualified 60 some dogs for the Master National. We took 35, 34. Okay.
Yeah. That's insane.
This is a situation where, you go to the qualifier and you step back and you qualify and you go, we're just not ready this year. Okay. Mr. Owner, you're qualified. It is your decision. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, and there'll be guys that pass the qualifier that don't come to the invitational,
Right.
but it's a situation where this has been wanted for a long time.
Yeah. It's
In
really exciting.
2011 in Georgia, they held a national gun dog championship.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, you're going to have some horsepower,
Yeah.
you know, and there's a lot of several successful field trial pros that started in the hunt test game. Okay. They're
Yep.
coming. They're coming to play.
Cool.
Okay. And I've talked to several amateur field trialers. Okay. One of them very well known, Judge Nationals. Had a conversation with him. He goes, "What can I do to help you?
That's cool.
I'm coming to play." And so, I mean, you say, for instance, Bob, you run a dog at the qualifier. Something comes up. Lyle, could you run this dog for me? Absolutely. The dog qualifies. Okay.
Gotcha.
And where we're going to do this is probably what we're going to do is going to be a membership. Okay.
Mhm.
Is where we're still working on that details. Say, for instance, the owner and the handler, if they want to run the qualifier and possibly the invitation to come for the national championship, pay your due. Okay. It's not going to be very expensive. This is not, everybody needs money. Don't get me wrong, but this is not for the money.
Right.
Okay. This is for the love of our sport.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of people play the Master National. Great. We will play the Master National. We have to go to Oregon.
Right.
We have dogs with 1 or 2 plates that we need to do our job.
Right.
So it's not replacing anything. It's adding to something that is needed.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I'm excited. The first one, if those dates are in fact correct and going to be locked in stone of what we talked about, I won't be able to make the first one. But I would. Kevin asked me because we were talking about it before the show, and I was like, dude, I would do this. I mean, it would be very fun, and it's 14, 15 hours from me. You're not gone for a month. Every Master Nationals I ever went to, I was gone for 3 weeks plus. This you could go and pre-train for 4 days, run it 5 days, be home within a 10-day span, and that's doable. Being gone from your family and your life and your business for a month became not feasible,
Well,
for me.
correct. And that's what we wanted. We want it to be is we
Yeah.
want everybody to have the opportunity. Amateurs,
Right.
pros, it doesn't matter. But you're correct. Some of you guys, not necessarily you, but there's a lot of guys out there that they train 15, 18 dogs,
Yeah.
20 dogs. They can't be gone like you said. Okay.
Right.
And it's a situation too is you can't make this one. Send the dog. Say, Kevin, go run these dogs.
Hell no.
Listen, Lyle, I'm sorry, bud, but you don't want me to just win everything, do you?
No, I was trying to help you out a little bit, but yeah, I mean, if you've got a special dog and you go, hey,
Yeah.
and it goes back to let's do what's best for the dogs and our sport.
Yeah.
Keep that
I
in
think
mind. And I mean,
Yeah.
again, at the end of the day, on a weekend master test, you're sitting there as a judge, and I can judge, so don't call me. I'm not judging, but I can. You're sitting in there and you go, would you hunt with that dog?
Right.
Forget about 7.0 and 20, whatever it is. Hey, that's not the principle. Principle is, would you hunt with the dog? And when you go to the championship, you everything, poison birds, whatever you want to do, separate them. I'd like the last series to be a quad with a double flyer.
Sweet.
I mean, I want it to mean something, and it's a situation. Will there be a title? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. It may not be the first year, but if you win, they know who you are. Okay. And we've retroactive titles, years ago. Okay.
Right.
All of them. And I would not have or ask, that would be disrespectful for me to ask AKC, I need the title the first year. No, I want to show you that we can put on a quality event. Okay. Here's another element. Okay. There will be a dress code. You're not going to disrespect this event. Okay. Be proud you're there. dress the part, dress professional. Bob, you've seen this, you know my guys, and that's the thing is we're not going to pass every dog. We think we're going to, and we're going to try and win every event, but we're going to look good. Be proud representing your sport.
You do. Old Clark's got a ways to go still.
Oh man, you can get with him next week. I mean, I gotta. All you gotta do is put him in there in the corner, and we'll take him to the dry cleaners. Everything, every cut. If one guy goes, that's just what I expect, and AKC is on board with that.
Yeah,
they are big on the care of the dogs, airing them, clean trailers. Everybody's going to get dirty throughout the day, but you're not going to show up looking like a hobo.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's the trucks and trailers, and that's the big thing with the boys. They know this. One, it may get dirty when it gets there, but it's not leaving the driveway.
That's right.
Inside and out, them trucks are clean.
Yep.
And you don't wear Crocs running my dogs.
See, I can't get behind that.
Yeah, I don't care what you wear training. Don't care. Okay. But you ain't wearing no Crocs running my dogs on the line. Okay.
All right.
And that's just being that's respect, not just for the owners, but respect for our sport.
Yeah.
Be proud of
you're
who
a consummate professional. That's no one can, that is one thing about you. You're always clean cut. You're always very professional. You talk to everybody. You do a good job at representing that. I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, if anybody's got it's kind of like messing with these stupid whistles. I should have never sold one of them. I should have just kept them on, use them. But it's kind of like that. Pick up the phone. A young man the other day called me. Okay. Works for another kennel. He called and he goes, "Hey, I want to buy one of them green monsters." I said, "Really? And I want to buy one of your whistles you make." Huh. I said, "No, I'm not going to do that." "Well, what do you mean?" "I'm going to send them to you."
Cool.
"What?" "I want to pay you." "Well, you're not paying me for nothing. I'm going to send you a green monster, and I'm going to send you a whistle that I've blown every day and trained." "What?" I said, "Yep." And I mailed it. What's today? Wednesday?
I don't know.
Monday. I don't know what day. I mailed it Monday. He goes, "You don't have to do that." "Yeah, I do." I said, "But here's what I want you to do. One of these days, I want you to pay it forward." Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't got nothing to do with the money.
Yeah.
If we did that, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. You're right.
I mean, we make 32 cents an hour, maybe. That'd be a load, maybe. But no, I mean, it's something that needed to happen.
That's really cool. Well, I'm excited for it. I think, is there anything that could throw a hiccup in this, or how are people going to stay updated on the information and where they can sign up and how to follow along to make sure that they can get on the game?
Well, we've got a Facebook page. It's NRGC. It's on there. The rules.
We'll put a link in the show notes, everybody, by the way.
The rules the club is approved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think 7875, I think is the club number, I think. Okay. Board of directors have seen it. They're excited. There's a couple of things detail wise, like, yes, we have a champion. How many dogs are we going to place after that? Da-da-da. That's some things we're going to iron out. Adam Andrews, who helped with the Master National in Paducah Kibble, is my vice president. Jennifer Tucker is my secretary. She's helped form several different barrel racing, big events, nationals, and things like that. I have several other pro trainers that I've asked, and I'll stay with it a few years, and then I'll let Adam take over, and that's kind of a goal of mine is to involve amateurs, involve pros. Like Adam will be the next president. It's my goal, and I'd like for the next vice president to be a professional trainer. To that way, we keep in touch with reality. I guess that's the best way to put it. Stay focused, because again, we need to work together. Okay. Yeah. And that's the big thing. I mean, right down to the minute things. And that's what I love about the guys that are going to help me. Okay. I've had sponsors reach out to me. That's over my pay grade to a point, I'm going to welcome them, anybody.
Yeah. Heck yeah,
But
buddy.
it's a situation we want to get in, get out. We'd like to take the money that's made off the event and help some person that wants to go to college that maybe can't afford it. The Grand HRC is given a tremendous amount of scholarships. That's something that I, uh, give back to our sport, give back to our youth, so there's a lot of little things, Bob, Kevin, that are in the works that, that I would like to see happen.
I love having you on, Lyle. It's always a good conversation, and I always appreciate how much you do for the sport.
Yeah.
You're a class act. So thank you for what you do and for putting this on. This sounds awesome. This would be fun to watch.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been blessed, great teachers, great owners, great bunch of guys, to work with. It's like Preston come to work for us. He's 19, and I've tried to surround myself, with that, and I've been awful fortunate, to work with some great young guys, and there's been some, young guys, and I've mentored several young trainers, not just in the training aspect. And Kevin, you brought it up, about life in general. You know, we need to train, but we need to have a release, a hobby, I guess you'd say, something like that. It's Terry, who passed away, this year, and was very instrumental in teaching me a lot of things. And you'll like this part. He comes and trains for the winter trip a couple of days, and he's a walking knowledge of pedigrees and this and that. And he's ripping off 5,000 questions, and it's like 5:30. I'm going, oh my God. And there was an egg timer. Nobody knows what an egg timer is, but you turn it, and instead of doing your microwave, it says 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is. And I walked over and I picked it up. I said, holy, and Terry was a tremendous football player, All-American. I picked up this egg timer and I turned it and I go, when that thing beeps, I don't want to talk about nothing. It's got 4 legs, that barks, it's got hair. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't care what we talk about. But when that thing dings, I'm done.
Yeah.
And tomorrow morning at whatever time, you can start ripping off questions. But I'm done. I'm tired. I don't want to talk about nothing like that. So that's something like that. We all need time, and it's kind of like Clark and Lewis and all the guys at 5 o'clock. If I call you, I need you. You
Right.
call me, I answer. Weekends, you're not running.
Yeah. No, we've kind of adopted that same thing here too. Like early in the career, I didn't have any employees, right? A one-man band, 365, putting wingers out, and from the minute you wake up until the minute you lay in bed, you're on. And, again, luckily, we've got great people that work for us now. And the last few years, I've been able to do a little bit of the turning of the switch off. So when I pull in the driveway, things are starting to, I can unravel it. I can let it go, and you guys take care of that stuff. Now I can go be Bob over here and freaking do podcast. But
Yeah.
I can turn it off a little bit better now. And I think it's really important to maintain the drive and the goal setting and compete and be gone a lot, to have that other switch that you can flip and say, hey, we got to have some downtime. Let's go out to eat, but we aren't talking dogs. Let's talk about anything else, but not dogs, not puppies, nothing.
Well, and that you've got to have that balance. And that's the deal where, it's like we have children, our children are grown, okay, and gone. We have grandkids, but that is, and it's like Case and coming a month now. And I said, this is how this works. And the same conversation I had with Preston. This is how this works. I'm going to describe a typical day here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to describe what the winter trip is, other than hell. Okay. This is what it is. But at 5 o'clock, if you want to go out there and train, knock yourself out. that's on you. But I'm not letting you get burnt out. Okay.
Right.
5 o'clock, see ya.
Yep.
If you can't get it done by 5 o'clock, then you didn't start early enough or you dilly-dinged around.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. Is there anything else you want to add about the National Retriever Gun Dog Championship?
No,
Just
I
stay
mean,
tuned on the
there'll be
Facebook
more.
page.
I mean, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Or email me and anything like that. I can text yes or no. Text messages are designed for yes and no and maybe and not this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're moving forward. Um, we're excited. The AKC is extremely excited with the potential and the growth. Uh, I know from top to bottom they're extremely excited about this adventure that nobody's wanted to take the bull by the horns, I guess you would say, and go after it. But I mean, there's going to be growing pains with anything. I mean, the Master National started with 78 dogs.
Right.
Okay. And you know, there's things that we have learned from them, good and bad. Same way with the National Amateur and the National Open. We've looked at them and said, okay, this is a good idea. And I've spoke to a lot of guys, you know, Hall of Famers, and said, I need your advice.
Mhm.
You know, and I mean, that's the biggest thing. You pick up the phone. You got a question I can't answer. Training questions. I probably had 3 people in my entire career take my advice and pick up a phone. But if I don't know you know, and what's shows my age. So I'm blessed with Clark and Lewis. I can't pick up the phone no more and talk to my mentors,
Right.
and that upsets me. You know, but you know, hey, got a question? Pick it up. If I don't know, let's figure it out together. You know, let's make the dogs better.
Yeah. Couldn't
Yeah.
agree more.
Yeah.
Well, Lyle, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Where can everybody find you and your business on the social media? And we are going to drop the link to the National Retriever Gun Dog Championship in our show notes. So if anyone's
Mhm.
interested, that's where you can find it. But tell them where they can find you.
Sure. I mean, and go to, I think it's NRGC, and then you can follow us on, you know, the Facebook page, Castile Creek Kennels. We are going to getting close to posting, and we are going to post it on Entry Express. You're going to be able to enter on Entry Express.
Cool.
Is our plan is right this minute going forward. They will handle the paperwork for us. That is, we have to delegate things like that we're not good at.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't fit a square peg through a round hole. They already do it and do
No.
it well. Let it rip.
They do it well, and I mean, nobody's perfect, but you know, Tara does a great job, and you know, let her do what she can do. And I've talked to her about it, and I said, "Can you?" You know, before I, you know, threw her to the wolves, she goes, "I can do this." I said, "Okay."
Perfect.
So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Well, please tell Stephanie I said hello. It's always great to talk with you, man. I appreciate your time. This is enjoyable. So we'll do it again. I'm excited to have Clark on next week and catch up with him because it's been a while. So this will be good. And thank you again, everybody, for week in, week out tuning into the episodes. We truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Well, Merry Christmas to you guys.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, guys.